All right, guys. So, Assalamu alaikum to all of you. Today, we gathered again for another stand-up training that is driving safety. All right, here we are going to talk about the driving attitudes, behaviors, responsibilities of people on the road. But first of all, we have to define who are road users. Road users are the people who are on the road, and it's their responsibilities and role to play. Everyone have a role to play in this, all right, in making the road safe for themselves and for other people. So first of all, we will look at the statistics in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. There are 13 to 14 road traffic accidents, all right, and they are the major health hazards, all right, with 19 killed and 4 injured every hour in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And the main reason or the top cause of the death in this, like if you see the statistics of 2019 in road injuries, all right, or the type of injuries, which was increased by 29.3% since 2009. And this axis shows that the percentage from this previous to 2009 is 30 to 80% increase. And according to the latest World Health Organization data, which was published in 2020, road traffic accident deaths in Saudi Arabia reached 12,317, or you can say 9.19% of the total deaths. It's a huge number. All right, and over 65% of the accidents, like from all these traffic related accidents, 65% of these accidents occur because of vehicle traveling at excess speed with overspeeding or the driver disobeying the traffic signals. Alarming. All right, that's why we gathered here to take this driving safety tips and course. So, as I said, we have to define who are the road users. Of course, the driver who's operating a vehicle is a road user, but not only him, a passenger with him in the car or in a vehicle, a cyclist or a motorcyclist, a pedestrian on the road, and children in your vehicle or in other vehicles, they're also road users. And as I said, everyone who travels on the road is a road user. So every road user has a role to play, and it's their choice in making our roads safe, as I said, for themselves and for other people. But now we are going to talk about the responsibilities of road users. All right, first, the driver. Of course, passengers or children, motorcyclists, they have for responsibilities as well, but mainly it lies on the driver. All right, first of all, a driver should make a 360-degree inspection, a walk around inspection, all right, of his vehicle. And making sure that when he sits on the driver's seat, he will wear a seatbelt. And if he has any children in his vehicle, all right, make sure the restraints are gone. And they should never be on the laps. Infants, toddlers, they should never be on. They should be on the child seat. Then after that, obey traffic rules and regulations, signs and signals on the roads. As I said before, people disobeying the traffic signs and signals, they are one of the most common reasons behind accidents. And ensure that they will follow the speed signals or the speed limits and signs and signals on the road, and keep the posted speed limits. All right, they should stay in that, and reduce the speed in the poor weather and road conditions. Weather is one thing which we don't have any control over, like sandstorms or rain. So in that condition, we should be extra careful. We should take more precautions. Or use the correct lane, don't weave in and out or unnecessarily. And after that, maintain a 3-second distance and never tailgate. Not tailgate yourself, and do not let others tailgate you, because both can be hazardous. And obey traffic lights and stop or yield at the signs every time. Like traffic light, of course, if it's red, we have to stop. Yellow, we should prepare to stop, or we should slow down and try to stop. And green, go ahead signal. But what if we only have the stop sign over there? On stop signs, we have to stop for at least 2 seconds, all right, before you move. And mostly these stop signs are on the crossroads, all right, before vehicles. Furthermore, please mute your microphone, please. All right, so next thing is obey traffic lights and stop or yield to stop signs every time, and check for the motorcyclists, cyclists, and even pedestrians. All right, before you make any maneuver, like if you are going to enter on the highway, if you're going to enter on the main roads, or even coming out from the street, you have to watch out for the pedestrians, cyclists, and motorcyclists as well. Furthermore, the things that drivers should never do. First thing, driver should never be driving on a shoulder lane, because we all know that driving in a shoulder lane could be 10 times more dangerous than driving in a normal lane. Secondly, shoulder lane is only for emergencies. And drive when they're too tired, it should never be done by the drivers. And they should never use their cell phones for any reason, for texting, for talking, you can say searching something on the phones. Because doing this thing, especially cell phones, it can distract you and it can be deadly not only for the driver himself, but for the people around him. Because distractions can lead other people to any accidents or incidents as well. Next thing, distractions. What is distracted driving? Like, you can say definition is any non-driving activity a person engages in that has the potential to distract him, or you can say they can be taken his attention away from that primary task of driving and increase in the risk of the crashing. Is called distracted driving. Could be any activity. It could be using a cell phone. It could be eating or drinking. It could be grooming or reading maps. All right, for anything which can distract him or engages him into another activity, because driving is a full-time job. You cannot engage into other activities. So driving is a skill that requires your focused attention, all right, for controlling your vehicle and respond to any events happening around you. Like, of course, not only just focus on your driving, but have a look on the hazards around you as well on the roads. Could be any debris, it could be the bumps or road conditions. That can be a hazard on which you don't have any control over, but your attention will let you avoid these hazards ahead of time. And distractions are anything that takes your attention away from this primary task of driving. That's why I said driving is a full-time job. You can't be engaged into other activities. A little distraction can lead you to different accidents on the road. So there are three primary type of distractions, three main type of distractions: visual distraction, manual distraction, and cognitive distractions. First of all, visual distractions are those which takes your eyes away from the road. It could be anything like you can say using a cell phone, all right, because cell phones are the ones which will take all of these away. All right, it's all type of distractions from the cell phone. You can take your hand off from the steering wheel, or your eyes will be looking at the cell phone, and your mind is not on driving as well. So manual distraction is anything that takes your hand off the steering wheel, and cognitive distraction is anything that takes your mind off the driving. Basically, all of these distractions are dangerous and life-threatening, but of course, texting or talking to a cell phone or using your cell phone is the most dangerous one, because it involves all three types of distractions.
Yeah.
All right, so these are the ones, three type of distractions. Furthermore, The next thing we are going to talk about is other distraction, like examples of distraction. As I said before, some of them using a cell phone, eating or drinking, talking to your passengers in your vehicle, that can also distract you. Grooming, all right, of course, making your hair or beard or anything. Reading, including maps, using navigation systems, or mostly navigation systems on the cell phone. So it's again watching a video, all right, listening to music or like adjusting the volume, all right, changing the radio station, CD, MP3 players, or any other devices. And even children and pets in your vehicle can also be a distraction. So make sure you're not distracted from your driving, because it will only take 3 to 4 seconds to distract you from the driving. And these 4 to 5 seconds, as I said, they are enough, all right, to let you involve into any situation which can be hazardous, which can be deadly. Like you can end up into an accident or any incident on the roads. Now, risky behaviors of the workers, or we will talk about the behaviors that people admit, and how many percent of drivers do that. All right, according to statistics, speeding, 71% of the drivers, all right, they admit that they speed up. Eating, 59%, using a cell phone, 37%, running on the red or yellow light, 30%, not wearing a seat belt, 28%, falling to, like, of course, failing to signal, like when they have to turn or to have to take an exit, 26%, carrying an unbelted passenger, 23%, failing to properly maintain the vehicle, 17%, reading, 14, or driving aggressively, like in aggressive driving, it's all come like speeding up, tailgating, driving zigzag, or overtaking from the wrong side. All things come into an aggressive driving. So 13% of the drivers from all, they admit driving aggressively. And driving while drowsy, 10%. All right, and drowsy means like it could be like long shifts, all right, work, and it could be under the influence of any alcohol or drugs or medications. All of these things can make you feel drowsy. And changing lanes without clear vision or unnecessary lane change, 7%. Okay, so these are the risky behaviors. Furthermore, when we talk about these leading causes of collisions, main or most of the time, it's rear end collisions are the leading type of vehicle accidents. But mostly these vehicle collisions happen because of distractions. Yes, speeding is one of them as well, but mostly distractions. Or like there are some of the few causes or some frequent causes of accidents or collisions of the vehicle. First, mainly distraction, which is inattention of the drivers, speeding, all right, driving at higher speeds of more than allowed speed limits on the road, or not driving according to the road conditions. Maybe your road allows you to drive on 150 kilometers per hour, for example, but what if all the vehicles around on that road have some problem and driving at 60 or 70 kilometers per hour? You cannot drive on 150 or 140 over there where everyone is driving at 60 or 70. So speeding, then falling too closely, tailgating. This is also one reason behind vehicle accidents. Then after that, unsafe lane change. Like if you don't have a clear vision, all right, in the next lane beside you, or you can say not using the mirrors correctly, rear view mirrors properly. Furthermore, when you talk about unnecessary lane change, like 1/3 of all motor vehicle accidents happen because of lane changing. It will cause more holdups, and of course, you will drive slow as well. Or driving too fast for the conditions and failure to yield right of way. These are most frequent causes. And there are other contributing factors as well, not only just the driver's mistake, but it could also be the road conditions and vehicle maintenance problems. Like if your vehicle is not maintained properly, like for example, if your tires are not in good condition and it let your vehicle slip and you can lose your control on your vehicle, could be anything on the tires, any problem in the tire, like tire pressure, tire tread, or underinflation, overinflation of the tires, even brakes and headlights. So these are also the contributing factors. They can also lead you to accident. And road conditions, of course, weather related and physical conditions of the road, that can be the contributing factors. And as I said, most of these motor vehicle accident or collisions of these cars or vehicles, they are rear end collision. All right, these are the leading type of the accident. And that's why you have to maintain a safe distance from a vehicle in front of you, which is a 3-second falling distance, so that you have enough time to react. What 3-second falling distance means, that where the other person is right now, you have to be there at after 3 seconds. If you cannot see the road in between you and the other vehicle, you are too close. Increase your distance.
هلا
اخذت الباقي.
الكاس الباقيات.
الكياس صح. اوكي. ثانك يو.
All right, then after that, we talk about decreasing distractions and driving defensively. We already talked about distractions in the driving. All right, like as I said, most of the things which can takes your attention away from the primary task of driving, these are called distracted driving. But being undistracted and defensive driver, or defensive driver means a positive behavior, positive attitude, when you think that no matter how safe you drive, anything can go wrong. That's the positive mindset, that's the positive behavior of a driver. All right, so he is always ready for anything unplanned. So being undistracted and defensive driver is the safest way to drive. And when these drivers are undistracted and they're able to stay focused in the roadways and they are aware of these behaviors, all right, of the other drivers on the road, like as I said, they should not only just focus on their driving, but keep a look on the people around them as well. All right, these are called defensive drivers. Or in these defensive drivers, they pay attention and they expect the unexpected. All right, as I said, they're always ready for the situations which are unplanned, undesired. And defensive driving is to make sure that we save our lives of the driver, lives of the passengers, and can also save time and money. All right, and in spite of the conditions around you and the actions of others, no matter how unsafe other people are driving on the road, you should not distract yourself and drive the same with others are driving. You should drive to the road conditions. You should drive defensively. You should drive safely. After that, we're going to talk about some safety precautions, but there are some of the tips that you can follow to avoid these accidents. What are those? First of all, the main thing will be avoiding distraction. As I said, driving is a full-time job. Do not engage into other activities, so avoid distraction. Second, practice defensive driving. And what it means, how to practice defensive driving. Of course, there are mainly 5 things that you are doing wrong. Like most of the people I'm talking about, not all are doing the same thing, like speeding up, all right, not following the signals or traffic lights, or not using a seat belt, using a cell phone, or parking in the unauthorized parkings, braking too quickly in front of you, in front of other drivers. So practice defensive driving techniques and be aware and anticipate other actions. Don't follow too closely before tailgating. And then after that, be extra cautious, extra careful in those poor weather conditions. Not only just weather conditions, but also the road conditions. All right, like for example, if you maintain a 3-second distance in normal condition, with the poor weather condition, like if it's raining in the dark, or if it is if there are sandstorms, the first thing you have to do is to reduce your speed. Secondly, increase the distance from a vehicle ahead of you. before, like for the normal condition, you maintain a 3-second distance. In poor weather conditions, you can make 5 to 6-second distance from another vehicle. Turn on your headlights and do not drive in a fast lane. Okay, do not drive in a fast lane. So you have, that's the cautions that you have to take in poor conditions. Furthermore, keep your vehicle maintained or a proper maintenance. That is exactly why before you start your trip, before you start your journey, anything like from your house to your office, from office to the mall or anywhere, have a quick walk around inspection around your vehicle. All right, and make sure they're in a good condition. All right, do not speed, wear your seat belts all the time, do not drive when you are drowsy, and do not drink and drive. If you are, that means if you're under the influence of alcohol or any drugs, do not drive in those conditions. Furthermore, there are some acronyms that we use for safety, because of driving precautions. All right, what is that? Before you start up your car, what startup means, secure the loose objects. Like, for example, if you have any tools, equipments in your vehicle, make sure these objects, they are secured properly. All right, they don't bounce around when you are driving. Turn off your cell phone, all right, or at least keep it on the silent. If you have to take any calls which are urgent or something, you have to, all right, go into an emergency lane, stop your vehicle, or attend the cell phone, and then you can drive again. Then allow enough travel time. All right, like you cannot, like for example, if you are going to drive from here to Riyadh, of course, normally it takes like 5 hours, 4.5 to 5 hours, or normally. But of course, you have to give yourself allow yourself enough time to travel. You can't rush to your destination. And read your fuel and fluid levels. Take a moment to check the tire pressure, tire safety, and also the conditions of the tire as well, not only just the pressure. And use your seat belts, every person, every time. Not only just the driver, but the passengers in the vehicle. And properly adjust your mirrors. This is startup. And when people say that you have to be more safer, all right, say S means space. You should have enough space. Attitude, your behavior, foresight, all right, for the hazards on the road, to look for them, eyesight, and responsibility. Safety on the roads. That one thing I want to say over here, that you cannot trust other people that they will keep you safe. You are the one who's responsible for your own safety on the roads. All right, like for example, if you are tailgating, maybe that person applies the brake too quickly, all right, there are chances, all right, of course, higher chances that you will end up into a collision. Furthermore, safety precautions, driving precautions, all right, we have to do a pre-trip inspection and walk-around inspection. First thing, of course, in a pre-trip walk-around inspection, you have to check for the windows, make sure they're clean and you can see around them, all right, and mirrors, all right, angled properly, all right, and of course, they are in good condition, they're not damaged. Lights, tires, fluid level, like engine oil, radiator coolant, all right, these things, these are walk-around inspections. And then once you sit in a vehicle, then, of course, adjust the seat. Just to the driver, check the gauges, all right, if they're working properly. Gas, half tank full, all right, some conditions, all right, conditions apply, like depending on where you're going, all right, depending on the distance to your destination. And then distance settings in advance, all right, be familiar with the type of vehicle you are gonna operate, all right, and of course, prepare mentally. All right, make sure there are minimal distractions while you are driving, and you have to be mentally ready for the trip. All right, like for example, if you're going far on the far distances on any site or location, all right, you have to mentally prepare yourself. And stress, emotions, and attitudes, that these things can distract you and can take your attention away from the driving. All right, of course, make sure you are less stressed. All right, and keep your emotions, away, and your attitude should be good. And drowsiness and fatigue. All right, avoid that. So these are some pre-trip inspection and walk-around inspections, checks, or preparation for any journey. All right, everything, the tires, the physical condition, spare tire in your vehicle, fluid levels, lights, brakes. All right, and one more thing is wiper blades. All right, they should be in a good condition, like, because we don't know about the weather. It could be rain, sandstorms, or enough fluid, all right, into your washer fluids, all right, for the windscreen. Furthermore, we have to see a bigger picture. All right, scan the road ahead. All right, while driving, keep your eyes moving. All right, what it means that more frequently you have to look into the rear view mirrors, you have to look in the side mirrors, all right, ahead of you. Make sure you angle your mirrors in such a way that you can see the 360 degrees of your vehicle, but still there are some blind spots in which you have to turn your neck around to see. And mirrors every 4 to 5 seconds, and 3 to 4 second falling distance increase your distance. So this is getting a big picture about scanning the road ahead. Furthermore, driving laws. All right, observe the speed limits, or in which, of course, traffic sign and signals. Follow these rules of the road and use common sense and your signals to turn. Or, and of course, you use your common sense that when you're taking changing a lane or going to an exit on the roads, you have to look around. All right, look in the blind spots. This is common sense. And keep alert and be prepared. And how you can be alert? With a minimal distraction. Keep your mind on driving and also hands on the steering wheel. And how you're going to hold your steering wheel into 10 to 2 position. Drive defensively and yield to aggressors. Like, there's one thing that you can do to avoid aggressive drivers. Do not make an eye contact. All right, do not make an eye contact with those drivers. Or otherwise, it will turn you into an aggressive driver as well. And keep cool and calm, emotions in check. Allow enough time for the for any maneuvers. Don't provoke or be angered, and report others as appropriate. Like, for example, if anyone is tailgating you or who's an aggressive driver, but he's keep following you, of course, you have to report it. And drive for the conditions, all right, according to the road conditions, according to the weather conditions. Adjust yourself, adjust your driving according to that. Make sure lights and wipers, they're in an appropriate, you can say, operational. All right, the stopping distance can be 3 to 12 times longer, or like depending on the situation, depending on the speed, depending on the roads, depending on the weather conditions around. Then do not overdrive your lights at night. Okay, but first, mostly like for the company related businesses, all right, night driving is of course, it's not, we can say it's not permitted. Most of the jobs, they will be into the daytime. All right, but if you have to, of course, these things you must do to follow the safe driving precautions. Then risk reduction checklist for while you're driving. All right, you have to do a visual search. Visual search, not that does not mean that search for your vehicle or something, but that means you have to look 10 to 15 seconds ahead of you, or the conditions that can become a threat, like any tires on the roads, all right, like bursted tires, or it could be the bumps on the roads. All right, so make sure that you look them ahead of time so that you can avoid them and have a plan. All right, like alternative path of travel and level of traction available. All right, driving in on the slippery roads, you can lose the traction on the road. All right, and you need to make sure that you have an alternative plan, all right, which you can follow to be more safe. Never tailgate and do not let others tailgate you. You should have enough cushion, all right, in between you and other vehicle. And position your vehicle, all right, with a space to the sides, front, with an escape route. Like you should have, you have to make a safety cushion ahead of you, behind you, and on the sides as well when you're driving. Obey all the traffic controls and laws like speed limits, detours, traffic signals, everything you must follow. And exercise the right of way rules. Like, for example, on the crossroads, if you don't have any signal, the person who reached there first will have the first right to cross. Or on the roundabouts, the person in the roundabout or will have the first right to pass and yield to the left. That's what it means. And see and be seen. Communicate your presence to others. How, if someone tries to cut you off or something, all right, a friendly light or horn, 1 or 2 taps would be enough to get the other attention, to get the other driver's attention. All right. Then after that, avoid sudden steering and braking movement, and avoid distractions, and be a considerate driver. Consider your safety and consider safety of your other road users as well. Clear, guys? Any questions related to driving safely?
Thank you, Mr. Obaid. Any question, please?
Anyone has any questions related to that?
I don't think so. Thank you all for attending this standard training. Thank you, Mr. Obaid, for facilitating.
Welcome.
And see you in the coming standards and the coming initiatives as well.
Okay. All right.
Thank
All right, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you have enjoyed the session. Until next time, take care of yourself and be safe.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Zir.
All right, you're welcome.